This is X-ray equipment. This is medical grade, but it's very little X-ray exposure. In fact, as personnel, we don't have to wear any shielding. These walls are not lead walls. All that's required is sheetrock. What's inside of here, what's called pencil beam or fan beam emitter. So there's a receiver underneath, and it's really literally just sending a single beam of X-ray that's scanning your body back and forth, and the computer captures that.
To use it, do you have to disrobe, or
no,
you can wear it?
It goes right through clothing.
Oh wow.
We just want to take off anything that's metal.
Okay.
But this gives a full computerized analysis, body composition, muscle mass, your arms, exactly how much muscle you have, how much fat you have, internally, what's inside of your intestines, your liver. This is the dangerous fat inside.
Right.
Okay, this machine will show it. So this is such a valuable health tool. Unfortunately, in the ordinary medical system, you don't get one of these things. Women in America get one of these for bone density. We do bone density on this, spine, hips, and legs. But women don't get this until they're age 50 to check bone density. Men, there's no protocol in America for testing men at all. So, we offer it as a private service that people can come in here, check their body, and for anybody working out, to measure their body composition. Before you work out, how much fat do you have? How much muscle do you have? And what's your body fat percent? And then to see your progress over time. If you're dropping weight, but if you're dropping muscle mass, you're doing the wrong thing.
Right.
We want to gain muscle mass, we want to lose fat mass. And that's the key to health, okay? Because fat is what's going to drive disease.
Right.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll get you on this in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Jose, what do you like?
I'm gonna say
218,
215.
What's your date of birth?
12/29/74.
All right, just step right on the scale for me.
Oh, you were right.
217.8. Done enough of these to.
Wow, you're good.
All right, back against here. Just stand nice and tall. Look straight ahead.
Yes, I'm considered morbidly obese.
Well, that's on the
Walk right
BMI,
out.
which is meaningless.
Yeah, right.
5'3.5". I'll give you 5'4". All right, grab your shoes. Come follow me. The first two scans we're doing on him, we're actually looking at his lumbar spine and his hips. Reason being is that because if he was at risk for osteoporosis, fractures, that's what they would generally tend to occur, because that's where all the weight's being compressed on his body. So we'll get bone mineral content, we'll get his total fat-free mass and fat mass. So it's a good machine because it doesn't just give you one body fat number. It gives we give regional composition. So it's upper body, lower body, trunk, android fat, gynoid fat, right side, left side.
What is gynoid fat?
Gynoid fat's like your upper legs and glutes.
Oh.
So women tend to have higher gynoid fats than men do, and just carry more android fat. And it's just hormonal differences. All right, just got one more scan to go. So this is where we're gonna actually look at your body fat.
All right, I'm here at the Cenegenics and what is he?
Max Performance MD.
Max Performance MD here with Lars Loman. This has been an amazing experience. I just did the DEXA scan, and we're going to go through a whole panel of different tests at a later date, but we can discuss what we did today, discuss what it is you do here, and I find it fascinating how much this guy can help out, and how many people don't know anything about what's going on in their body. And this is exactly what people within the fitness industry, the bodybuilders, all need to know. We've had too many accidents, too many incidents where people don't know what's going on with their body, and they're flooding themselves with things. And this is a great opportunity for you guys to learn different options. And I'm very excited that you had me here today, so thank you.
Jose, is it okay if we discuss your report?
Absolutely.
And this is the first time I'm looking at this report. This actually just came out of the machine about 5 minutes ago, and I've just sat down. So taking a look at it, and by the way, I am a physician, I am an MD registered in the state, and I offer a full comprehensive anti-aging and health management program for the people that are interested. But I consider that the full body DEXA scan is an absolutely essential health tool. It is as important or even more important than blood tests in understanding how healthy you are, what your health risk, because your body composition, your fat mass, is really what's putting you at risk for future disease. And for you, Jose, you've got obvious extraordinary results. You're a very muscular fellow. You carry very little body fat percent that we can see just visually looking at you. But let's look at what the numbers are. So the machine tells us, and this is, by the way, a GE lunar DEXA machine. All right, so we have an age of 43.1 years, and you're 217.8 pounds. That's on the standing scale. If we look at the report, first things that we're notice is that you have a full body computerized image, and that's what your body contour looks like. There's also a body composition or body fat percent population trend graph. And so if you look at that, your dot is at the bottom, way down at the bottom for body fat percent. So the population graph is this purple area here, and Jose is way down at the bottom because your body fat percent is 7%. That's actually not the best number I've had in my office.
I believe it.
One of my sons did this scan, and he certainly was an extreme college athlete. His number was 6%. But you're at 7% body fat, 43.1 years, and you have a measured weight of 220 pounds, 220.1 pounds, laying on the DEXA machine. The machine calculates your weight, which is slightly different than your standing weight on the platform scale, but that's what the machine is basing it on. For that, you have 14.9 pounds of actual fat on your body, 14.9 pounds of fat on your body. You cannot eliminate all the fat from your body. There is going to be fat just for cushioning. There's going to be fat for thermal insulation and for an energy reserve. But you are pretty lean. In my health program, we consider men who have about 21 pounds of fat for an average 6-foot male. He's probably going to be pretty ideal health with something of a body fat percent in the teens, 15-16%. For a 6-foot male, he's going to have about 21 pounds of fat. Now you're lower than that. You have 14 pounds of residual fat on your body. For muscle mass, you've got 198 pounds of muscle. Mark is chuckling here because 198 pounds is a pretty big number for a man of your size. You're 5'3.5". You're carrying a lot of muscle mass. That's obvious, right? You've worked hard to make that, I think.
Yeah.
What's fun on this graph or this paper is also the BMI, body mass index, and that's what a traditional doctor will have in his office. Body mass index shows that you are extremely obese.
Yeah, I knew that.
But that's totally wrong because the body mass index is kilograms, that's your weight, compared to your height, meters squared. And they're just measuring your height and then standing you on a scale. It tells you nothing about body composition.
Right.
So your health is really determined by your body fat percent and being in that mid-teens or low teens for body fat percent, because fat is your enemy. If I flip the page, the next page is going to show us the visceral fat, and that's the internal belly fat, that's the dangerous fat, that's what's inside of your liver and kidneys and your intestines. We like that number to be less than 1 pound. What's your number?
0.8.
0.8. So you are in the ideal range for internal belly fat, the dangerous fat, the visceral fat, and that's great. The highest numbers I've seen in this office are in the 8 and 9 pound range, and that's the dangerous fat in there. If we flip the page, we're now looking at bone density images, and then also where Jose is compared to the population trend. The normal is the blue. So for you, for total body bone density, you're well above the normal. But the critical areas are the spine and the hips. because as people get older, those are the fractures that are really going to cause damage. So if you get a spinal compression fracture, you can pinch a nerve, and that's going to hurt you forever. Just slipping on the ice, falling on your butt, slipping off of a ladder, doing something like that, you can land and you can have a compression fracture. Even having pneumonia in the wintertime, from coughing repetitively, you can compress if you have low bone density, you can compress a spinal bone. For you are above the norm for the population, so you're well above it. And if we look at your T-scores, you don't have any negative value, you don't have any bone loss, your spinal bones are great. But that's also predicted because you're a bodybuilder, you're a weightlifter, and your spine, your bones have responded to all that heavy lifting, and they become very strong. So exercise is certainly part of building strong bones. And then finally, looking at the hips. Again, your position on the population graph, you're above the blue, the normal zone for adults. You don't have any negative values, so you are not losing any bone. And the machine is targeting the most important areas, the neck of the femur and then the greater trochanter. And those are the areas that an adult will break. 33% of women over the age of 50, women in their older years, 33% of women are going to have a hip fracture. It is a very dangerous condition. It's even more dangerous for men. Although men have less hip fractures in total numbers than women, it's more deadly in a man if he breaks a hip. A man can develop pneumonia, he can develop infections if he's lying in bed, if he's immobile. Now this may not happen until you're 75, but the time to strengthen your bones is not when it's discovered when you break a hip.
Right.
But the time to strengthen your bones is to maintain them really at the strong bones that you had as a young adult. We have had in this office people in their 30s who are already come here for bone density scanning and DEXA body composition scanning. People in their 30s who already have osteoporosis. This is not measured in a regular doctor's office or doctor's checkup. Ordinary medicine does not measure bone density until the age of 50 for a woman, but we've had women age 36 with osteoporosis already. And you can very well imagine that woman, if this was not discovered, she'd likely break a hip,
right,
in her 40s, very
wow.
early. We also have men come into this office who have the first stages of bone loss, which is osteopenia. And these are men, what is it, Mark? It's probably about 20% of men coming in this office. That's about 1 out of 5
I'd say at
men.
least, yeah.
And, riding an executive chair for 20 years is really a setup for low bone density in your hips, because you're just not putting any pressure on those bones and they get weaker. So exercise is one of the key strategies for rebuilding the bones. Your diet, the things that you eat, processed foods, certainly vitamin D blood levels, calcium, magnesium, those are very important, your hormone status, and your exercise. Those are all key in maintaining bone density. But this is a exceptional report, certainly for you. You're in the prime of your conditioning right now. It's a very good report.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I want to come back and get all the blood panels done. Mm-hmm. And also do the, what was that called?
It's the carotid artery screening. So it's an ultrasound to look for cholesterol plaque.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll come back and we will record that as well. And then we will come back to record the findings. Yeah. Right. So in the meantime, we're going to get this out there to everyone because, like I said, I think it is a no-brainer for people to come and take care of this stuff. How do people reach you, reach the office, or to make an appointment to come do this? So
people can look directly on our website. That is Cenegenics Boston or cenegenics-boston.com, and you'll see right there that you can click on the promotion, save 10%. But you can also go to our a la carte services, which are for DEXA, for VO2, and for the other services we offer. And you can book directly. You can choose a calendar date when you want to have your test. This is a private pay program. We don't accept insurance. This is not covered by insurance. You don't have a disease. You want to understand your body. You want to get this data done, and you want to have information that you can act on, that you can improve your health. But you can look right on there. You'll see the pricing right on there. We keep it affordable. Everybody can do this test by going on our website.
So it's ultimately to prevent disease.
It's to optimize your health, and it is to prevent disease. That's right.
It's huge, huge. All right, thank you very much, and we will be back.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mark.
Good working with you, Jose.
Thank you.
All right, this is the Boston Mass. Thanks again for watching. Now, if you're not subscribing, subscribe now. Tell all your friends to subscribe. If you haven't, do it now. All right?